wider discussion.
Talk about COVID. When it started early 2020, I was not taking it that seriously because I did not know how bad things are going to get. And then in March, the news came out that ISIS has issued travel advisory guidelines for its employees. That day, I got very serious about COVID. I'm like, if ISIS is worried, then I should also be. Imagine ISIS going, let's work from home, guys. It's not safe out there right now. And it was a tough call for ISIS as an organization. Most of their roles are not suitable for work from home. They are a more client-facing organization. But first lockdown, I remember when it started, there was also some positivity around it because air pollution had drastically reduced. So people were, reporting things of, sightings of things that they had not seen in a long time. In Punjab, there were sightings of the Himalayan peaks. You guys remember that? Then I think some rumors also were flying around. Delhi, somebody said they saw a star in the night. I'm like, come on. I'm not that gullible also, Can't fool me like that. But what a way we launched our first lockdown, Janta Curfew, man. What a legendary day, 22nd March 2020. You guys remember 5 p.m.? Yeah. When we all went to our balconies and lost our minds. I think that's fair to say based on the videos we have seen. What an assault on kitchen utensils, dude. Some uncles were going at it, dude. Like they were possessed by a spirit or something. One uncle was playing orchestra in the middle. You can I go on YouTube and watch those videos once in a while. My favorite is Legends of Janta Curfew. You should watch that. Took a flight after a long time after COVID. I thought things would have changed at the airport. What a stupid assumption that was. Same. I think it's worse than before, I feel. Same at the main gate, so you're walking, somebody's trolley is hitting your legs. That's how the trolley people decide to stop, when their trolley hits somebody. They don't have their own idea of space at all. They're like, oh, acha. Somebody's in front of me. Then I gave him that look, okay, your trolley is hitting me. So he removed his luggage from the trolley. Then the guy came right behind me over here. Breathing on my neck during COVID times, Then we did security check, and now they have a new step there. You have to remove your belts, right? Which on the men's side of things is a little unpleasant, It's not easy on the eyes sometimes. All these uncles standing around with without their belts. And some of these belts are very delicately placed, They are holding that entire structure together. You remove the belt, it's like removing the wrong piece in Jenga. Anything can... Pant is going down. The pant is like, "Arey, kya ho raha hai, bhai?" We are at the airport, dude. This is not the time and place. So when I fly, I prefer the aisle seat because it gives you extra leg room, but it has its disadvantages also. Mainly that you become the entry and exit point for the middle and window seat every time they have to use the bathroom. And I get the over-enthusiastic bathroom visitors always. Seatbelt sign off, 2 people get up immediately. And I prefer to unlock my belt, get up so that they can come out. But they don't give you that much time. I'm figuring out this. This has started once. I'm panicking in my seat. I'm like, an ass is coming towards me. I didn't pay for this, And that's the default way. You get up and you slide out. So it's ass to face, right? That's what. But this one time, this uncle got up and did a 180. I don't know why. He just wanted to spice things up, I guess. And initially I saw that. I'm like, oh, something new. Maybe it will be nice. But when he came here, it got very... When he came out, I actually asked him, sir, when you come back, ass to face, please. Never thought I'll say this to another man, but... He was kind. He was like, yeah, I was just trying something new. I'll do ass to face. I have to refer my notes. Don't worry, I'm a professional. I've got this guy. I'm noticing kids don't go out and play a lot these days. We used to always be out and, we never at home. All kinds of games, we didn't even need any real games. We just used our imagination. In summers, I don't know if you guys have played this, but in Delhi, we used to play this game called Pass the Mosquitoes. Yeah, if you're in the park, there are mosquitoes above your head. So you just find another person and circle around them. You don't tell them why you're circling. You just act as if this is normal. And then you walk away and your mosquitoes get transferred to them. When they do that to somebody else, and everybody is doing that in the park. From a distance, it looks like a mental asylum. Like, what's going on over there? Why are kids behaving strangely? My favorite used to be these occupational based role play games like Doctor Doctor. So, that game should be called Doctor Patient. It's not two doctors fixing each other. That'll get awkward, you know. Like, I'm your doctor, I'm also your doctor. Open your mouth. Hey, you open your mouth. Problem with that game was we were too young to know anything about biology or medicine. So a lot of malpractice was going on. All kinds of wrong diagnosis, you know, not even related to your gender sometimes. I went in as a patient once. I said, "Doctor, I have pain here." He said, "You have breast cancer." I said, "I don't have breasts." He's like, "Yeah, it's because of the cancer." Cancer is at an advanced stage. We can't save your breasts. I'm not like a political guy. I don't have strong opinions about a prime minister, for example. People expect you to these days. So I try and stay in the middle. So now I get hate from both the sides. Everybody hates. Recently, I followed the West Bengal state elections just to, thoda politics mein, just so that I could have a conversation. And it was very interesting because it was supposed to be a tight fight between BJP and TMC. And BJP lost, but and TMC surged ahead in the end. And Congress got 0 seats, which is fine. But then Rahul Gandhi, he immediately tweeted, as soon as the results came out, he tweeted, "I'm happy to congratulate Mamta ji and the people of West Bengal for soundly defeating the BJP. I'm like, Rahul, somebody else can say that. Tera 0 seats hai. Tu kyun bol raha hai ऐसा? But this is what I like about Rahul also. He's a glass half full kind of guy. So what if he got 0 seats?
Shame. Shame.
Imagine the amount of confidence it takes. He was in last place. He walked up all the way to the guy in second place. I'm like, oh, soundly defeated, huh? That must be embarrassing, yaar. A silver medal only, huh? I was a big, I am a big fan of Sachin Tendulkar. Like, I stopped watching cricket after Sachin retired, almost. And I don't even miss the cricketing things about Sachin. I miss the little things, you know. Like, I miss this. Nobody else did that. Sachin, in a tense moment in a match, Sachin would be like, some ninja move he's ready for. But my favorite cricketing memory is not even related to Sachin. It was from India's tour of Australia in 2008, when the whole Bhaji Simmons controversy happened. Do you guys remember that? It's called Monkey Gate. For those of you who don't know, I'll tell you what happened. There was a heated moment in the match, and Harbhajan Singh said something to Andrew Simmons angrily, and there was a big debate. And the debate was, did Bhaji call Simmons a monkey, which is a racial slur, or did he say Maki? That was the big debate in Australia. In India, there was no debate. We were all 100% sure. Yeah, we were all like, हाँ Maki बोला है ना भज्जी ने Monkey क्यों बोलेगा भज्जी किसी को? I have not called someone a monkey since second standard. Right? Can you imagine that a hot-headed Sardarji in the middle of a fight, 6'2", looking at you angrily, like, "Oi, sale monkey."
I'm like, this feels a little strange.
Hey, welcome to Sales 101. I'm your host, Matt Zimmer. This is a live stream where we talk about all things sales, mainly focused on the software development industry. And yeah, great to have you with us. We got a wide variety of topics to talk about and a few guests. And actually, I've got my first guest ready to go. So we're going to pop into it. Romeo, I'm going to try adding you here. Let's see if we can make this work. There we go.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How's it going?
Great. What about you?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. It's morning for me. How about you?
Fine. Very fine.
What time is it where you're at? Where are you located?
It's actually 4:33.
Yeah. Where are you located?
I'm located in Ghana, in Africa.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on and spending some time with me. I appreciate it. Maybe just to ask you, or to kind of get into it, can you maybe explain a little bit about who you are and what you do for work?
Okay. Actually, I'm Rumi Ajimai. I'm a software engineer with 3 years of experience, and I'm also the co-founder of Collaborative IT Support.
Cool. What kind of software do you focus on? Is it are you web, mobile, kind of everything in between? Like what do you kind of find yourself focusing on?
Yes. Oh, okay. Actually, I work on web application and mobile application. With the mobile application, I mostly use Flutter and that. Yes.
Okay.
Flutter. Yes. And also with the web application, I mostly focus on PHP and Laravel for the back-end development. Yes.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
How long have you been doing software development for?
Actually, 3 years now. Yes.
Okay. Great. What got you into it?
Okay. I was interested in building games, yes, but
Okay.
I ended up in web development, and I said, okay, that's cool. Why don't I add software in mobile apps? Then I got into that. So
Nice. So how's it? Have you how's it been over the last 3 years? Has it been interesting, fun, difficult? What are your thoughts on kind of the industry?
oh, okay. Actually, one interesting thing was when I started to code at the web development aspect. I think learning some few concepts, I had a opportunity to design a website for a hotel. Just learning HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and PHP. I ended up having a short contract building a website for a hotel, and I
Hmm.
was happy because I wasn't ready to do that, but not knowing, hey, it was just near me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
How's the are you what do I want to ask? Are you I mean, so are you pursuing this as kind of a full-time career opportunity? I mean, are you doing this? This is what is this kind of what you think your job in the future looks like? Is being in software?
yeah, actually, yes. I
Yeah.
wanted to be a software engineer and also help beginners, people who are interested in doing that. I want
Uh-oh. Romeo, can you hear me? Uh-oh. I may have had a down connection with Romeo. Romeo, if you get this, if you can hear me, maybe try to restart your connection. We'll see if we can get you back. Until then, we'll move on. And yeah, so when Romeo gets back, we'll get back on and kind of get more into the business and sales side of things with him. Obviously, just trying to set up a little bit of an understanding of kind of who he is and really what he's all about. But as soon as we get back, we will. There we go. We've got him back. Let me add him back. Romeo, are you there?
oh, okay, yes,
There
yes,
we
I'm
go.
here.
No worries. No worries. Okay, so you're pursuing this full time. You wanna look at you're looking at maybe to help train, kind of coach people. That's really cool. Can I ask you so obviously one of the things that I like to talk about here is kind of the sales side of things, client acquisition, maybe even dealing with clients, from kind of a project management standpoint. Outside of the actual kind of like technical development, what do you think is kind of the hardest part of the software industry? Can you think of do you have something that's not just coding, but maybe getting technical parameters from a customer, making sure that you kind of fully understand what they want? You got any thoughts on what's kind of difficult outside of the really technical pieces of software development?
Okay,
Did that make sense?
actually, yes. When you were starting your question, it seems the network wasn't clear. So can you make it? Can you repeat what you said?
Yeah, sure. So I'm kind of wondering. One of the things I like to talk about here is kind of the sales and marketing side of the business. So obviously, from a technical standpoint, there's all sorts of difficulties, to creating the actual product from how do you write the line of code? I'm wondering what your thoughts are on kind of the non-technical side on attracting clients, understanding parameters, making sure that you're actually producing the thing that a client wants. Do you have any thoughts on what's difficult in the industry? Do you have any? Do you find it easy to understand what a client's needs are and kind of match what needs to be built, or kind of how do you think about figuring out what needs to be built?
Oh, okay. For me, yes, it's not easy for me to get clients to work with, but I actually look look at what the client is about, his or her services, and those aspects. So, finding your services, I can actually use that key point to help you grow your business. So,
Mm-hmm.
let's say a barber, a hairdresser. How can I help him or her to grow his business? Okay, I can make a website for him or her to advertise his services. Maybe this kind of haircut he or she uses, or he or she produces, or let's say a hairdresser, a kind of style she, I don't know how to put it, but the actual services those people use, I found it so interesting to help them through that. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, you brought up kind of hairdressers. I can't remember what else, but those are physical. Those are kind of physical in the world businesses. And what types of solutions are you providing for those? I mean, with a hairdresser, I'm assuming there's kind of some advertising opportunities and kind of marketing opportunities, but then there's kind of booking. Maybe there's booking.
Yes.
Booking opportunities and kind of the some e-commerce type things about booking appointments and making sure that people are kind of paying up front, whether it's in full or partial, up front, to kind of make sure that they're actually going to show up for the appointment. Are those the types of solutions that you're kind of working on, or different types of stuff?
Yeah, that's what I'm actually talking about. So
Gotcha.
their services, I use those. Let's say the e-commerce, as you said. Yes, if I built an e-commerce website for them, I think that will really help them advertise and also make their work easier. Yes, let me
Yeah.
put it that way. Yes. So
Gotcha.
e-commerce website is also a point when helping people's or clients. Yes.
Yeah. I know I for a while I was running a software development agency, and we were trying to bring more e-commerce elements kind of into our customer acquisition. So it was a software development agency, so it's similar to what you're doing. And I heard you say that it's difficult to get clients. I think my experience was it was difficult to get clients. It was difficult to get leads, and then I'd have a lead, and then it was difficult to get that lead to like make the jump to like using me. And then man, there was a really big process of actually getting to the point of having a client. So we were playing around with trying to introduce some e-commerce kind of checkout type functionality to just get people into the system. We had a similar experience where, man, it was just really difficult to get people kind of to take that first plunge to even start talking to me. I'm assuming you kind of have experienced the same type of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you find the people you work with? How do you find them? Is it people coming to your website, or is it word of mouth? How are you finding your kind of clients?
Okay. My first project that I got, what I was talking about, I called them. Yes.
Oh, so you cold call them?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And he accepted it. Yes. And I went there, sent my proposal, and everything went through.
Huh.
And yes.
And it went well?
Yes, it went well.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, cold calling's tough. Have you cold called other people and not had as positive of an experience, or have you not done that since, or have you tried cold calling other types of businesses?
Yes, but sometimes it doesn't go well. Yes.
Yeah. Why is that?
Sometimes I think they'll say, "Oh, I don't think you need this right now, so come later. Yes, that's
Yeah,
what sometimes they really say. So I say okay, then I'll try later, and if they'll say okay.
gotcha.
So yeah, so sometimes I don't know if they don't know the use of the product, or maybe they are not interested. Yes, let me
Yeah.
put it that way. Yeah.
What I know we're obviously on here talking to various people that may look and see you. Kind of, what are you looking from out of? I mean, are you? What do I want to ask? What type? So we talked about kind of these physical based businesses that maybe are looking for some e-commerce elements. Are those the type of? I'm assuming you're looking to find more of those types of clients.
Yes. Yes. Actually.
What what's kind of your workflow when if one of those people reached out to you? What's kind of, how do you work with clients to kind of really understand what their needs are and implement a solution? Do you um do you want, is it the type of thing where you have a conversation with a client and kind of they don't really know what they need, but you kind of work through and help figure out their problem? Do you want them to come with, hey, Romeo, build this specific thing, build this exact thing for me, and there's no thought? Like, what type of client do you like to work with? Did that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes, it's actually makes sense. Okay, I want both, but mostly apart from the first one, the others mostly they come. Okay, hello Romeo, I want to build. I want you to build something like this for me. This. Yes. So for my experience, I haven't seen a client saying, "Oh, I don't know where to start," or something else. For my first project, for example, he said he had one website and it was down. So he wanted everything new. Yes. So this client, he actually knows what he wants. Yes. So most of my clients always knows what they want. But actually having experienced someone saying he doesn't know what he wants. So I'll be interested in having those clients, and
Yeah.
I'll really help them.
Have you I know I used to have some experiences where, like, I'd get on with a client and they'd tell me what they wanted, and then we'd build it, and then we'd discover that that isn't what they want. That isn't what they wanted. Like, they thought they knew what they wanted, but then they kind of get into it and it's like, oh no, that's, sorry, that missed the mark. Have you experienced that?
I actually know. Yes.
No? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
you're you're dealing with smarter clients than I was dealing with, apparently. That's
Oh,
good.
really?
Yeah. All the time. It was yeah, people would come and ask for a solution, and you deliver it to them, and yeah, they're angry because it's not exactly what they wanted, or whatever. It doesn't work exactly how they thought it would, but when they gave us kind of the description of the product, we delivered it exactly as they needed, and yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
so how can people get a hold of you? How can they find out more what you've done? Do you have a website, or on LinkedIn? What's your how can people get a hold of you?
Okay. On LinkedIn, I think we two companies, Cosam Technology and Collaborative IT Support. Yes, you can
Okay.
find. Yeah, they can find our company there, and also
I'm
me.
here. I'm
Romeo
gonna
Nyadima
let me are they on your LinkedIn? Are they on
profile.
your LinkedIn profile?
Yes, yes.
Let me here, I can actually, let's see if we can do this. Maybe we can get, I'll see if I can actually share a screen. Maybe we can take a look at what you've got. One sec. All right, so I'll pop up. So here's your link. This is your LinkedIn page.
Yes.
So which one of these guys?
Okay. Collaborative IT support and
This one down here, collaborative IT software.
Yes. Yes. Actually, this page, the website is under development.
Gotcha.
Yes. And the COSAM technology, the domain has also expired. Yes. That's one bad aspect.
Code some technology right here.
Yes.
Does this one have a website?
Yeah, the domain has expired.
All right, cool. So I'll tell you what, I will I'm gonna throw your LinkedIn contact right here. So we'll throw that up. So there's Romeo's LinkedIn contact. I'll leave that up for a little while so people can check that out if they want.
Oh, that's it.
So if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Oh,
You see,
actually,
you look young. So I don't.
Yes.
You might be older, but you look young.
yes. Okay. Actually, I'm 18 years of age. Yes.
Awesome. That's that's very cool that you've been coding for a few years and you're only 18. That's I'll be 41 in January. So and
Oh,
I
really?
haven't been in the industry that long. So it's
Okay.
it's cool to see a young person really take the stuff by the horns and try to push it through. So I really do applaud that. I guess I wanted to ask something from kind of like the sales, kind of more of a sales question. What do you think sets you apart from other people that provide kind of a similar development service? And I'll clarify that for a second. I think the kind of software development industry is pretty crowded, especially if we just use a very general term like software development. There's all types of software. There's all types of, different types of experiences, different types of code bases. So it's pretty broad. And maybe I lost you again, Romeo. He's probably going to drop and be back. I'll keep talking here, and then maybe he'll join back here in a second. But I think when we talk about the software industry, we just talk about software, and software can be very narrow. It can be very broad. We can talk about web or mobile software. Those are two types. Embedded systems. Windows or Mac for desktop. All types of software. Then there's different types of ways to build software. So obviously the platform is important, but then whether or not you're taking an API first approach or building everything from ground up. So whether you're using services and microservices or building everything in-house, or if you want to leverage more modern forward-facing frameworks or more legacy systems because you're trying to integrate with different things, software development is really broad, and I think we use a general term when it comes to software development, mainly because people don't really know or understand the language and the specificity that's needed to properly convey idea and properly communicate really in what needs to be done. So I think that was my experience where some miscommunication happened, but my question for Romeo was going to be, what really sets you apart? And I think that's important because, oftentimes it's difficult to set yourself apart in, that kind of world. And It's too bad that Romeo dropped. Romeo, if you get back, I'd love to have you back on here for the last couple of minutes before we move on. But that's a real question that I have, and I think other people have, is, you know, how do you set yourself apart in kind of a world that is commoditized in some respect, maybe not fully commoditized, but definitely, you know, where a lot of products look very similar. Anyway, too bad we didn't get that one in, but maybe I've got Romeo back. Let's see. I think I got Romeo back.
Yes.
There we go.
Sorry.
All right. So I was just kind of describing what I was talking about, but I'm wondering. So I think a lot of software developers can be, you know, there's a lot of people that provide software development, and there's all different sorts of software that can be built, different approaches, different platforms. There's this generic term for software development, but the reality is it's very different. And even like, you know, the whether you're agile or waterfall, or there's all these terminologies that get, you know, thrown around too that mean different things. I'm wondering if you could identify, like, what do you think sets you apart from maybe other people that are providing, you know, similar, quote unquote, similar services? Do you think, is there something you're doing differently? Is there a different mentality that you have? You know, what do you think makes you special in some respect?
So, is it in terms of services and our attitude towards the client, or I want to get it?
Maybe both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't. It maybe doesn't need to be one or the other. It could, you know, differentiation could be what you specifically do, and it may be, yeah, how you address or approach a client. I think it could be both.
Okay, so for my experience and clients I've worked with, I think they loved me working on time. Yes, I told them I can get this done in 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months. I can get it done, and yes, I do that for them, and yeah, they are impressed with that. And I think the first project I really want to use it for as an example, because he really helped me. He linked me to another person who has also established a hotel, and yes, I also did that for him. And yeah,
Gotcha.
so working on time and getting the right service for you, or working perfectly for you, is our priority as collaborative and wholesome technology.
How about your, maybe just to close this out, because since you brought this up, how about your kind of approach, your approach to clients? Is there something unique or special, or maybe not, like, you know, maybe you've seen other people doing it, but what's your kind of, do you have an approach to dealing with clients that you think is unique?
Yes. Okay. When it comes to patience, actually I have some. Yes, really, because
Yeah.
my fellow developers, they will say, "Oh, if he says he can't pay, then leave him. Yes,
Yeah.
let him go." Oh yeah, but I actually wait for the person to organize him or herself, and yes,
Yeah, that's good. Patience is
yeah.
important. So that's awesome to hear. Cool. Well, anything else? Anything else to add before I let you go?
Yes. Okay. One problem about software development is, you see, when you're providing your services, the budget aspect. Yes.
The
Actually,
budget.
in my country, it seems they'll say, "Oh, this budget is very huge. No, I can't afford it." Then they'll go. So I'm finding a way or a solution to do that. Where okay,
Yeah. So keep going. Keep going.
okay, where the client will say, "Okay, yes, budget, I can manage that. I can pay." Yes. So I'm finding a solution to that.
Yeah.
So for now, I haven't seen get any solution to that. So I was wondering if you have any solution to that.
So this is funny. So I talk about this a bunch. So I'm gonna throw up I'm gonna pull up I have this ready to go because I talk about this a bunch. So I don't know if this is helpful, but it gives me a framework to kind of talk about. So I think when you're doing sales, there are three attributes that you want to consider: price, time, quality. All right, and I put those are in order. They're all equally. They're all important, but I think this is kind of the order that we look at them and what we consider. And there's a specific way that I like to walk through clients to get to the point where we agree, we can understand and agree like what we're doing, what the price is, and what the expected output is. In my world, I think you like, when a client has a specific budget, we always had conversations with clients where, the budget they always wanted to whittle down, right? They always wanted work for free, basically, was my experience. Like if I gave it to them for free, they were real happy. Obviously that doesn't work for me, but they always wanted to whittle down the price. So what I figured out, this is what worked for me. And really what I wanted to do is I wanted to establish what is the baseline, meaning what is kind of the expected level for each one of those three parameters. So let's talk and dive into your problem and understand, okay, what do you want to pay? And if it's $10 or if it's $10,000, in some respect it doesn't matter. What I just want to understand is what do they expect? All right, and then same thing with time. When do they expect the delivery? And then same thing with quality. And I'm going to get to how quality works, but you have this conversation of like, okay, well, like if I can deliver a website to somebody for $10, what it may look like is a line of code that says, welcome to the website, and that's what you get for $10. But we can build a website for $10. It just, the quality is going to be, very low.
Yes.
So
yes.
The experience that I had was really, you want to set that baseline, and then what you want to do is you want to figure out the sensitivity the client has to really price and time. So if I change price by $1, are they going to walk out the door? If I move the time by a day, does that matter or does it not? And then basically what I want to do is I want to tweak the price and the time parameters so that it works with my schedule. So that may mean I need to raise price and make it a little longer delivery than what they expect. And that comes at the cost of maybe quality or something like that. And my experience has been what a client doesn't really understand when it comes to software is quality. They have no concept of quality, especially when we're thinking about like long-term development. Certain platforms have costs associated with maintenance. So I may be able to make something very quick and implement it really quick, but it's got a ton of cost, to maintain and keep it ongoing. And, if they need me to build this thing for very little money, that may be what I choose to go with because I can build it very quickly. So that's been, my experience has been rather than haggling on price, in some respect, I just say yes. I try to do the best I can to explain. Well, hey, if we jump the budget up, X, Y, Z. If we jump the budget up by 50% or 20%, we'd be able to add these additional things in, and if we don't, maybe we can't. But where I've had the most success on the sales side is really flexing quality and just delivering the client maybe a lower quality product than I know I can build, but it meets their budget expectations. And I think that's where I personally have a real bias, but which has also hurt me, is I always wanted to build the highest quality thing. And the reality was that actually wasn't what clients wanted. They didn't have the same value for quality that I had. So that's, I don't know if that's helpful, but that's where I had kind of my best successes, is just like, it doesn't matter what I think is the highest quality. Like, the client wants what they want, and this is what I'm able to deliver. And I wasn't always super happy with that, but at the end of the day, it's what they were willing to pay for. And, unfortunately, some of the time, you got to pay for lunch, you got to pay rent. And some of the times that means delivering, not the highest quality, item to kind of get the client to hand over dollars. So I don't know. That's my advice, maybe, if that's helpful. All good?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Well, I didn't have anything else for you. I guess, really thank you for joining. I'd love to check in, in the next couple of weeks or something like that, and see how it's going. So I'll reach out on LinkedIn. Maybe we can talk again.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Romeo. Take care. All right. Cool. Well, that was Romeo. And I will throw up his LinkedIn information again, so you can take it down if you'd like. And I met Romeo on LinkedIn. We've been messaging back and forth for a little while, and he's obviously a young entrepreneur, but driven, and I think he would be a good candidate for people to talk to if they're looking for software development. If you want to see kind of the skills and stuff that he's been using, you can obviously take a look back at this interview and get some more information. But there's his LinkedIn address, and so I'm going to move on to my next topic for the day. I am supposed to have another interview, but they're not on here yet. So we're going to jump into another topic, just talking about continuing from last week, some topics, or a topic that's kind of been brought up, or I brought up a few times, I think now. And that really is capital. So if you've watched the last couple of lessons, you'll have seen that capital. I've talked about venture capital and the use of capital and the changing structure of capital a couple of times. So I've seen a few news stories over the weekend and some stuff this morning, and I thought I'd just talk a little bit about what I perceive as the changing structure of capital, and how you may think about what that structure change looks like and how it may be changing for your business. So one of the, I think, articles that we talked a bunch about was about debt financing becoming a increasingly attractive vehicle for startups. So traditionally, startups have generally used equity financing, or when I say traditionally, I'm not going back to like 1600. Let's say in the last 20 plus years, I've been kind of had my eyes on entrepreneurship for 20 plus years. So I'm going from my experience. So anything beyond that, I don't really have personal experience with and can't speak super intelligently to. But let's say for like the last 20 years, equity financing's been kind of the standard fare. And what that really looks like is obviously investors handing over dollars for in exchange for ownership in the organization. And really that payout doesn't come until there's a change of control. Now that change of control could be a few things. It may be going public. It could be another company buying it, buying the organization. It could be some sort of dissolution, maybe could be a joint venture or something like that, but some sort of, change of control moment where, shares become valued and purchased outright. So that's kind of been the standard vehicle. There have been other vehicles. So convertible notes essentially are debt. But what a convertible note looks like is, somebody puts money in and then there's a conversion. There's a time period where those dollars either are converted to equity or they're paid back to the investor, some of the times with an interest rate that can be, and then kind of there can be all sorts of terms associated with convertible notes. And they can get fairly complex. There's recently, or rather relatively least recently, I don't know, recently might be a little ambiguous of a term, but more recently than some of those other things have been safe notes, and safes were invented by Y Combinator as a means of really providing some kind of convertible note financing, but doing it in a investment vehicle that looked a little bit more like equity financing, so you wouldn't get debt on your books. And yeah, so those are kind of the, traditional financing modes that have been around. And there, debt financing has always been a thing, but I don't think you heard a whole lot about debt financing when it came to startups or early stage startups. Generally because debt basically puts a time ticker on your business of when your business needs to start generating cash flows. And the last, let's say 20 years, what we've really been focused on from a business standpoint and how businesses were valued was around really non-cash terms. So that may have been like user growth or time viewership, maybe like if you think about Netflix, like hours of content viewed or something like that. So there was these different non kind of cash flow terms. And in the last, 6 months, maybe less, my time frames are real screwed up. I think COVID made my brain hurt when it comes to time frames. But in the last, let's say 6 months, I've seen some articles come up talking about venture debt, and basically, venture organizations or which are really just groups of investors that put money in what there's one individual kind of managing that money for a group, but these organizations providing debt financing to startups. And I think what that indicates maybe is a changing function of how capital is being perceived and how capital is being used. And if you think back when companies were in a user or time growth mode, basically those businesses were subsidizing their cost of their product to customers in order to push customer growth. So customers were getting a steal of a deal on the products that they were buying simply because those products were subsidized by the capital, and it was a great deal for customers. and it came at a risk to investors, but obviously for those companies that could figure out the model, came at huge profits long term. So we were subsidizing short-term cash flows to gain, monopoly power and long-term cash flows, and then, basically rake it in on those investments. I think the change in the function of capital has been, to basically not do that. And I don't think investors are interested in subsidizing, products that are not profitable anymore. I think that's been the change, is for some reason, and maybe it's like an interest rate thing or a risk thing, or it's really hard to figure out why that change would have been, made, but like it's clearly tied to the economy somehow. But that seems like that's the change that's happened, and investors are no longer interested in putting their dollars towards your product to attract new customers. So when you're thinking about developing a business and looking at debt financing, I think, I originally started out the conversation saying that like debt financing was a no-go. And I still don't think I would personally start a business with debt financing, but I do understand that there are businesses that it may work okay for. You just need to be real careful and make sure that you understand that, essentially your product needs to be profitable. Now, you can maybe think about like labor, or, if you can sustain a product with a certain amount of labor and be profitable, and, you're adding marketing or something like that on top of it, that can be cut immediately without affecting, current product growth or something like that. And you have the ability to kind of repay that debt, from that. Like, okay, I think maybe you've got, a model that might work, but, that's the rarity, I think, in companies that I've personally seen, and frankly, personally started too, over the last like 20 years. So I think that's the change that's occurring. And obviously it has big implications for how people design businesses, how you need to think about getting to profitability, how soon you need to get to profitability, which changes how companies are built. Frankly, that's one of the reasons why I'm playing around and interested in media. I think media is a place where, the upfront capital costs are low, and really what we're talking about is a kind of a creative cost, which is high. You got to figure out how to break through the noise and get to people and get people to respond and that type of stuff. So I think, we're shifting costs and risks from capital to maybe personal, and there's a cost of time that maybe was different than it was before, but that seems to be the shift. So I think when you're thinking about products and services, really think carefully about where your money's going, how your product's being subsidized, and I think long term that will be a winning strategy. Cool. That's the thought of the day. If you have anything on that, would love to hear questions, comments, feedback. That's my view of what's going on. There's obviously other views of what's going on, and would love to hear from them. I think different people have different perspectives. Different entrepreneurs have, different experiences, definitely have different perspectives. I know when I'm on LinkedIn, I still see a lot of people kind of promoting hustle culture. I do think hustle culture is really aligned with this type of mentality. So I'm not saying I'm right here. This is a risk. This is a gamble, just like anything in the entrepreneurial world is. So I'd love to hear from some other people that maybe have alternative views on what they think is going on and what they think the changing capital structure actually is. Maybe they don't think the capital structure is changing. Maybe they just think it's a different, vehicle, and things will come back to the norm soon enough. But we will see. Cool. All right. Up for my next guest. My next guest is not here, so we got to shame him.
Shame.
All right. That was 50 seconds of shame. Well, I don't really know what to do here other than I'm encouraging people to sign up. I love talking to different people, but I encourage you not to sign up if you're not going to show up. I think talking to business owners and entrepreneurs is fun, but man, please don't waste my time and don't waste any viewers' time by not showing up. So that's what's happening here in these segments is when somebody books a time slot and doesn't show up, I gotta shame them. So please show up. If you can't, just send me a message. It's all right. I know things come up and we can't always make it work, but yeah. So Shashank Tripathi, we're gonna take a look at what you've got, and again, shame. This isn't good fun. It's anybody that reaches out initially, I've got full love for, and welcome them to come on anytime and let's talk. And I'm really just, we had a segment here and you're not on, so I got to fill some time. So that's what's going on. We're going to provide some advice and some critique on your LinkedIn and company pages, and hopefully that will be helpful. Hopefully you can take some of these things and improve. So let's see. Shashank, BDM Enterprises Business, helping businesses leverage AI, ML, data science. I got to be so one of the reasons I was interested in having Shashank on was helping businesses leverage AI, ML, and data science. That to me is word salad, and I think it's nearly impossible to help companies do that right now. From a consulting perspective, I basically you need to know a business so well in order to truly help in AI, ML, and data science. And what I mean by that is if you look at ChatGPT, and you try to type in and get real specific knowledge, it doesn't work, or at least the level of inaccuracy is high enough where you need to be concerned, and you still need to have that expert. And if that's the case, I really don't know how these things are ever gonna take off from a replacement of an authority standpoint. So I'm really interested in when it says helping businesses leverage these things. I can understand if it's implement the system and then allow that business to get the thing to the point of it actually doing something. The problem with that is, man, that in my experience, that takes a lot of work. and I don't have a ton of experience here. So, what I really wanted to ask is like, how do you help these companies? What do you specifically do? And that would have been really interesting because I just haven't seen this stuff work. I think this stuff is, very early, and the companies that are taking the risk, there may be some success stories, but the majority of these are going to be stories of failure, overspend, and frankly, putting money where it shouldn't be. And we need that, because if that doesn't happen, the stuff isn't going to get built out to the point where it's going to work. But there's a heck of a lot of risk that goes into that stuff. So, yeah, would love to hear a little bit more information on that. See some activity here. Machine learning solutions. So this is, what do they got here? I think Dash Technologies is where Shashank works. So step into data-driven future with ML-based solutions. Generating data, generating clean data, generating good data, generating data that you can actually do something with and is actionable. I think that's maybe the hard part here. Implementing an ML-based solution. Most people aren't building ML. Machine learning, by the way. I don't know who's watching this, so maybe I should stop using jargon. I don't know who's using machine learning based. Or the people who are implementing them. I don't think most people are building those systems from ground up. They're using some sort of platform and really doing the integration. And what that means is not to say that there isn't expertise in doing that, but the majority of the expertise comes in getting the data that allows the systems to operate and training them, and then kind of unleashing them on the world. And I think that's where the hard part is. So the first question I would ask a company that said they can do this is, cool, where do you get the data from? And if it's from the company, then I'd need to go to the company and be like, do you have good, relevant, repeatable, reliable data? Do you have data that you look at and maybe that you intuitively know what the decision is? Can you, if you saw that data, can you get your head around how humans could train this data such that the machine, can identify the commonalities? So that's really, I think, the difficulty in this stuff, and really kind of what we're talking about. Let's go back here. Yep, it is Dash. So working at Dash, we're going to take a look at Dash's website. And I really hope they've got a video. I love when companies have videos because they're a lot of fun. So this is Dash, fastest growing private company, Columbus, Ohio. All right. So are they based out of data services, artificial AI, machine learning, app development? This is kind of general. We do everything. These are very different things, and like artificial intelligence is clearly very difficult. Like, just specialize. I wish more companies would specialize. I think we've got enough broad consulting companies. Maybe a consulting company should specialize in, we don't do any development. We just, make suggestions on maybe what you should look at. I don't know. I'm sure there are companies like that. I got no idea what BSFI is. Talk about jargon, man. I got to get out of the jargon industry. Tuner expert developers. Dublin, Ohio. Got capabilities, everything, obviously. Software development company. How could you not do everything? I really, industries, I can understand having multiple industries, mainly because you can apply the same solution to different industries, but capabilities, I would love if companies didn't have every single capability and we're just said, this is what we do this specific piece, hire us for this specific piece, and kind of overcharge for that. I don't know if that would work because nobody wants to pay anything today. Everybody wants everything for free, but that would be nice. You know, my shame video is this looks real generic. Zimmer Biomet. Look at that. Man, that is exciting. You know, we were talking to Romeo about e-commerce checkout. So you'll see most agencies, most software development agencies, this is a checkout flow. It's contact us, it's, get in touch, and there's no real, it's a real poor checkout experience. The company that I used to run previously, and they said they're changing their website soon. So who knows? You can see that there's a book a consultation which puts you into a booking system, which is closer to e-commerce. It's not perfect, but it's a little bit better than kind of those other systems. So it's booking a meeting versus just sending me an email, which then I follow up with, and then booking a meeting. It's kind of making that hurdle, which I think if you look at good e-commerce does the same thing. If you think about like Amazon one-click checkout, like they hurdled that, like put in your cart, then do this, then do that, right? They took it down to like one click, done. And that obviously drove business amongst other things. I'm not saying that's the only thing, but so I'd really encourage them to do something like that. So let's see. I love a good video. What do we want to look at? Let's see all videos from Dash Technology. This is just going to be a happy Thanksgiving, isn't it? Yeah, no, that's not the one we're going to go with. Where was that other one? I saw a post. Here we go. How AI is transforming the pharma market. Pharma molecular transform. Okay, wait, let's do this. All right, this thing's going to be on YouTube. We're going to share this tab. Let's see this thing. We now live in the age can reshape pharma value chain. I'm going to show you how. Yeah. See, I don't know how people are making these qualified statements about what AI can do. Like has AI done anything? I feel like I would get blasted if I made these statements about how different sales or different marketing techniques that are unproven could do anything. I don't know. It's a cool video, man. Like, clearly put some money into that thing, so that's cool. I enjoyed that. I don't know, Shashank. I liked it. I actually hated the video. I enjoyed watching the video. I did not like it. It didn't provide me anything. But that's marketing, right? So it's a marketing video, and is what it is. Cool. Well, I think that's going to be it for me today. Up next, we've got our Safer Work stand-up break. So playing some stand-up comedy, and we'll go to an ad break here for a second, and then come back at you. With some additional content, and you'll see me tomorrow. Hope to see you then. Some new guests, some new content, some new things talking about the market. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, feel free to message me on LinkedIn. As always, you can head to Zimmer's, ZIMMERZ.com for all our social links and everything to make it easy. And that's about it. So thanks for joining me, and talk to you soon. Bye.
English major when I was in college. I didn't get a lot of job interviews being an English major. I should have saw that coming. Foreshadowing. My mom thought I was going to be a teacher because she was a teacher. I would be like a mother-son teaching duo. You know? Saving the world from dangling participles. She'd be like, Michael, are you going to be a teacher like me? I'm like, no. I'm going to do what I went to school for. I'm going to be English. Would you like some tea, sir? Like a nice lift, eh? Harry Potter. I had one interview when I finished college, but it wasn't even for like a real company. It was like one of those pyramid schemes where they try to intimidate you into working there because they're not really going to pay you. It's like, Michael, if we hire you in 10 to 12 months, you could be owning and running your own company. Does that scare you? I'm like, no, but it should scare you. I was an English major. The only thing I know about capitalism is if I see a period, the next letter should be bigger. After college, I moved back home to live with my parents because I really loved them and I had no money. I really loved them and I had no money. It's weird because we were on different sleep schedules because they had jobs or whatever. And like, sometimes my dad would call me from work and he'd wake me up and he'd get upset. I don't know what he expected. He'd be like, Michael, it's 1 PM. Why are you just waking up at 1 PM? I'm just like, well, I forgot to put my cell phone on silent. Michael, you're better than this. I'm like, I know, it's a rookie mistake. When I finished college, I drove my parents' car back from college to their house. I thought that meant that car was mine. They didn't think that. I don't know what their problem was. So I finally had to buy a car, and it was hard to decide what kind of car I wanted to buy because I wanted to buy a car that was really good for the environment, but I also wanted to buy an SUV so I could see the environment before it's destroyed by SUVs. It was tough, like, because they make, like, all the things I read, like, they make hybrid SUVs, but everything I read was like, well, it's not like the most awesome SUV, and it's not like the best hybrid. It's like, here's a donut. It's healthy. Just eat the middle air part. 0 calories in that air right there. Smells just like a donut. I ended up test driving a bunch of cars. I test drove an SUV and it felt like a man for the first time ever. So I immediately just started convincing myself it was good for the environment anyways. It's like, V8, that's a healthy juice. That's why the sky is orange. It's beta carotene. You should look at it. It's good for your eyes. Rabbits don't wear glasses. One of my friends is like, Michael, you got an SUV? What about the glaciers? What about the rainforest? I'm like, I got 4-wheel drive. We can go wherever you want. No, Michael, what about our carbon footprint? Whoa, how do we even know that's our footprint? Maybe we shouldn't take credit for that footprint. Maybe that's where Jesus carried us. It's a much happier ending to that poem. Jesus, where were you? Yeah, that's when I picked you up my Escalade and we went and got McFlurries. Through the drive-thru, I carried you. I liked my car a lot. It had a GPS that updated for traffic, which is great. Sometimes it wasn't great though. Like one time I was leaving Chicago and it updated for traffic and it took me down a part of Homan Avenue where 3 people that morning were shot and murdered. Yeah, of course there's less traffic. There are 3 less people alive in that area to get into traffic. College was great. I lived in the dorms when I was in college and it's fun. One of my friends is the RA of our dorm and my sophomore year of school. And it was cool. Sometimes it's weird because he pushed all the RA information onto us, how to keep people safe. Sometimes he's like, Michael, listen up. Michael, stop playing Mario Kart. Just listen to me, Michael. I don't care if it's Rainbow Road. Michael, listen to me. I don't care if it's Bowser on Rainbow Road, which is hard because he falls off, takes longer to go again. I understand that as an RA. I'm still a person. Michael, did you know the most common song for a college student to commit suicide to is Free Bird? I was like, wow, that must take forever. It's a really long song. You could die of natural causes trying to kill yourself. What happened? He had a heart attack during the third guitar solo. It was the live version. He died of irony. I know it's irony because it just came from English class where we learned about irony. Yeah. Wow, I just learned about irony, then I found an ironic situation. I wish there was a word to describe that.
I quit my job a couple of years back because of this major issue I had with my office.